Hi guys, and welcome to the second edition of the Unofficial Community Manager Diaries. You may remember at the end of the first one, I said if you have any questions, please put them into the comments section, and the best one will be read out, and that person will win a copy of Interstellar Marines. So many congratulations to blondbassist. You'll be getting your Steam key through YouTube anytime now. Your question was, will we be releasing the campaign as a whole, or will we be releasing it mission by mission? The answer to that is that we'll be releasing it as each chunk of the trilogy. The campaign is split into 3 parts. Each of those parts is very important to the overall story behind Interstellar Marines. And if we released it mission by mission, that would mean that you may play one mission today, but the next one might not be released for, who knows, 2 months, 3 months. So you will have actually forgotten what happened in that mission before you then get to the next one. So by releasing it all together, it means you can play through in a logical manner, and you can really immerse yourself in the universe that is Interstellar Marines. Now the same thing goes for this video. If you have any questions, please do put them into the comment section. Next week, I'll again read out the best one, and that person will win a copy of Interstellar Marines. So what I also wanted to kind of touch on this week was a little bit about patching, because we had a patch come out on Wednesday. How we handle patches and why we do some of the things that we do. Now normally, as I mentioned, we release a patch on a Friday. The only reason why we didn't release it on Friday of this week is because one of the team members has had to travel on Thursday and Friday. So it was either release a patch on Wednesday or wait until Friday of next week. So we decided to release on Wednesday. Now it's very rare that we'll give information out about a patch in advance, and the reason for that is because we continue working on a patch right up until it's released. When we first launched Deadlock, which was the website version of the game as it is today, it was an earlier version, one of the prototypes. It will take about a day between when we said, right, this patch is ready, and when it was actually deployed. Nowadays, it's only 30 to 45 minutes between when the patch is ready and when you see it on Steam. It's that quick. So that means that we can be working almost right up until the very last minute on a patch to get things in, to fix things, and to try and make things work as well as we possibly can. So that gives us an incredible amount of flexibility, and is something that the guys are justifiably proud of. So with this patch, we did what we normally did, which is about a week before the patch comes out, we kind of set ourselves aspirational goals of what we want to get into the patch. What we wanted to get into this one was the update to Unity, because there's several important things in there. There's FPS increases, there are optimizations, especially for Macs, and there are several bug fixes, again 1 or 2 of them for Macs as well, and that's become quite important. So we absolutely critically wanted to get that update in there. What we also wanted to do, if possible, was to get in 2 maps. Now this is about Wednesday of last week when we kind of said, right, this is what we want to get in. By about Monday of this week, we realised we might only get 1 map into the update. And by Wednesday, we realised that we weren't going to be able to put either of the maps in. And the reason for that is very simple. It's simply because if we'd have released either of those maps, they wouldn't have been finished, and there would have been unfound bugs or unfixed bugs in there. We don't like releasing anything that's not perfect, and if it's not perfect, it's not released. To me, that's a good thing, and the reason for that is the last thing anybody wants is to get a brand new map and find there's a huge bug in it. We've all had that with other games, and it's something that we're very focused on, and we don't like releasing anything that's not perfect. So although we weren't able to release the maps, when we do release them, and hopefully we'll have one next week, they will be as near to perfect as possible with the minimum amount of bugs as possible, which means that you and me and the devs will be able to play the game and have much more fun doing it. So that's kind of how we deal with patches, and this is why we don't tend to release information on patches until pretty much it's actually released, because we might not know what's 100% going to be in there, because we're working up until pretty much the last minute, which gives us flexibility, but means we don't really want to tell you anything that might be incorrect. And certainly from my personal perspective, from a community management perspective, if myself or Bozor had gone out in the middle of last week and said to the community, look guys, what we're aiming to have is the update to Unity and the 2 maps, If we'd then gone out on Monday and said, well, actually, we're kind of looking at one map now on the update, and then on Wednesday we said, well, the maps aren't quite ready, so what we're going to have in this patch is the update, you guys would have been justifiably annoyed. I know me as a I as a player would have been annoyed if I'd have had this kind of information from another game, another dev team. So part of the art of community management is managing community expectations, and that is the reason why we tend not to release in advance information on the patch. We don't want to get your hopes up only to bring them back down again. We'd rather under promise and over deliver than do it the other way around. We'd rather give you more than you're expecting than give you less than what we said might be in. Now that's a very ZPS way of looking at things, and that's the way that the guys have always worked, but it's also something I personally believe in very strongly as well. You should try and tell people, right, this is what we're going to bring, and then hopefully give a little more, not the other way around. It's just not good, and we don't like doing that. So that's a bit of information on the patch and a bit of kind of a bit of background on how we handle it, why we do things the way that we do, and how that impacts you as a community. So as I mentioned earlier, if you've got any more questions that you'd like to be answered, please do put them into the comment section. The best one will be read out at the video for next week, and you will win a copy of Interstellar Marines. That's it for this week. Enjoy your gaming. Take care.